Today, Precarious plays
Metroid Prime. There's something that I wanted to talk about. Oh, right. A few episodes ago, during the last recording session, there was a conversation we had, and I wasn't entirely happy with how it went. Whenever I listened to it again.
Yeah.
We were talking about games that struggled during the transition from 2D to 3D.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like what we were talking about was games that transitioned from primarily using pixels to represent environments and objects in the environment to games primarily using polygons to represent those things. Or actually, I guess it would be most accurate in most cases to say polygons with pixel textures on top of them, you know? Because that's what it really is. Polygons with, PNGs or whatever. I don't actually know what the standard is, if there's a standard.
I'm sure that there is.
JPEGs, TIFFs.
You're just going to list all the file types?
Well, yeah.
It's probably not a .exe. You could probably rule that one out, right?
But if I say all of the ones I know, it increases the chances that I
might be right once.
Yeah. Well, think about it. If I'm pretty sure I'm wrong the first time, then I have nothing to gain from not listing the others.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, I guess I'd save time, but these episodes are like 10 minutes long.
Oh,
Jeez.
we need to wrap this up. I'm joking.
You made me panic because I've got a story. I've got a story that's going to go on soon. It's going to be available to watch soon, and I wanna see it. So I thought that's what you were talking about. Oh boy. There it is.
Oh, goodness. It's always best to laugh at someone else's expense. You don't want to waste your own expenses on that. Sorry.
Well, let me think. Because water happens, all right.
Yeah, so you were talking about moving from 2D to 3D. Well, we were talking about that, and you were thinking about it in a certain way that maybe I wasn't thinking about it.
No, I think that we were both thinking about it in the correct way. I just don't think that we stated it clearly.
Oh, okay. Clearly for everybody.
Yeah, because there were tons of games that relied on some sort of visual trickery, some sort of sense of perspective to effectively have games that were in 3D before
polygons.
Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, the game Tennis.
Right.
Tennis is a game that has a sense of 3D because after your character strikes the ball, it moves towards the background and it becomes smaller, like the sprite becomes smaller. The net in the court is illustrated in such a way as to give it a sense of depth. It is effectively 3D, even though it was just done with pixels.
So what you wanted to make clear was that we weren't talking about rendering techniques, we were talking about gameplay more.
No, the other one, the other way around. Castlevania did not struggle going from... Castlevania did not struggle because it was transitioning from one style of presentation, pixels, to another style of presentation, polygons. It struggled... Did I Did I break this door? Maybe it's just loading. Maybe it's just struggling to load. Let me shoot it a few more times to try to encourage it. Maybe the game is freezing. You know what? Maybe that door is just not on.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay. Castlevania struggled because it added a third dimension to try to incorporate into gameplay. It wasn't because of a visual change, it was because they didn't know what to do with that third dimension.
Yes. I believe that that's what I just said.
No, I think you said the opposite. I think. I'm pretty sure that that's what you said.
Okay.
Say it again. Say it again, and then I'll know for sure.
I said...
Say it again, word for word, not missing a single one.
Help, Bale. What you wanted to make clear was that we weren't talking about rendering techniques, we were talking about gameplay.
Okay, well that's no use to us now.
So, for us here and now, I said that we were talking about the transition not in rendering styles going from pixels to polygons, but in gameplay styles going from side-scrolling to not side-scrolling, like walking around in the world.
Well, if you did, it was not clear to me. I think that you used...
ambiguous language.
And I really think that you used them in the opposite order.
Okay, well, Bale will know. There are rats. Oh gosh, they're very feline. I don't remember that. Did you see those chompy mouths?
I did not see the chompy mouths.
Well, I didn't see it when I was playing it years ago. They have very sharp teeth.
Oh, this is another pirate? Okay. Different type of pirate. Fine. I shoot you. I shoot you.
Not all pirates are the same, Plasma.
I just didn't expect another model of pirate so soon. How dare you try to do some sort of powerful lunge attack? This is what I think of you. Bam!
Already being electrocuted. Oh man. This place is the place where the thing comes from that I don't want to tell people about because I just realized it could be spoilers for my own show. Thank you, being vague, for being there for me to ruin my description properly.
I like the good old missile punch in this game.
Is being vague, is that called vagary? Or is it called vagrance? No, I feel like vagrance is a crime, right?
Yeah, that's being a vagrant is something very different. I believe.
What is it?
I think it's loitering.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I don't
know for sure.
Well, let me think. I'm pretty sure that from context before I have associated the word vagrant with like wanderer.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm about to Google this because I hate gaps in my knowledge.
Well, you don't have to because Bale already took care of it at this point.
I know. Bale is so nice. Bale is
Map station.
good cat. Or good ghost.
It's complicated.
Demon. It's complicated.
Special mention, I think, should go to the Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with Mode 7?
Not familiar enough, tell me.
Well, there are other modes, but I think Mode 7 is the big famous one. Mm-hmm. Mode 7 allowed the Super Nintendo to basically... I believe it allowed them to... I don't think shear. I think that they could scale... and...
warp?
They could dynamically... pinch. They could basically pinch and pull. This is really embarrassing because I've got a graphic design degree and I can't remember the tool that allows you to...
Is it warp?
Well, warp is one of them, but it's like if you were to take the 2 points at the bottom of just like a rectangle, a square, right?
Right.
And you were to move them in towards one another to ultimately wind up with an object that uses a trick of perspective to make it look like that would be... So if this box, for example, if you took this point and moved it about here, and if you took that point and then moved it about there, it'd look like you were looking at it from above.
Yeah.
Anyway, it could do that.
Yes. Sorry, now my brain's itching. That moment of silence was... When I get quiet, it's the sound of the gears in my head just like crunching.
Oh, so much knowledge.
I know. Oh my gosh, when I first got to this room, I read one of the tanks.
Yeah.
And I sort of realized what could be in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was struck with a feeling of, like, actually being in a spooky lab with things I didn't want to see.
Ooh.
And I immediately, after scanning everything, just in case there was some gameplay thing I might miss, I skirted around the walls of this room instead of walking through the middle because I found it frightening. I was like, this is too creepy. I know I've been through a lot to get here, but there was something about this room that really struck me. I think that it was also because I was remembering the Metroids sucking on my head from the other Metroid game that I had played and how terrifying that felt.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, removal of being able to do anything.
Speaking of something that is scary, even though you're very familiar with it, there's something that I wanted to bring up on the show. Because I just saw it, I think, on the Wii U start menu today.
Yeah.
You know how I've been urging you to finish Ocarina of Time for a while now? So that way, mainly just so that way you can play Majora's Mask?
Yeah, I do.
Guess what they put on the Virtual Console? Which means we could play it on this very show.
Oh my gosh, is it Four Swords Adventures?
Okay. You got me. You win the show. Congratulations.
Wait, no, are you serious?
No, it's Majora's Mask. Come on, man.